Namaste. Uh, Today we're just going to continue where we left off yesterday. Okay. People have expressed desires for universal well-being, family, happiness, and similar aspirations. We have all echoed such slogans. However, mere utterance or repetition does not lead to finding the path. Hmm. This is basically speaking of how we have tried to express that we are with one with the whole of existence, or everything in existence has God in it, or things like that. So we have all echoed all these slogans, and just saying it or repeating it does not lead to finding the path. The same book that speaks of universal well being also declares the world to be an illusion and advocates seeking refuge in God as the real father and mother. Yet no tangible good comes from it. So here again, most of the religions declare the father or uh, the Parampita and words of that accord when there is no tangible uh, thing or seeking that we get from it, where there is no tangible effect that we get out of it. After seeking, let me just highlight that. After seeking refuge in the real mother and father, no human is found. So, whose good will occur and where? These narratives serve no real purpose. It is through wisdom that purpose of humanity becomes clear. Purpose is inherent in all relationships, but what is this purpose? It is solely about achieving resolution, prosperity, fearlessness, and coexistence. So here we are seeing that how the real purpose of humanity is to have resolution, prosperity, fearlessness, and coexistence. Right. And yeah, so just the purpose of all relationships is intricately linked to these goals, thus forming the tradition aligned with them. This tradition can only be one of the understanding. Ignorance cannot sustain an unbroken tradition. Consequently, no tradition aimed at universal well being has been established thus far. Okay, so here, these two lines, especially the last two lines, the purpose of all relationships is intricately linked to these goals, thus forming a tradition aligned with them. So now, all relationships basically should be having resolution, prosperity, fearlessness, and coexistence. And this tradition can only be one of understanding. Ignorance cannot sustain an unbroken tradition. Okay, so when we are ignorant, that cannot sustain uh, ignorance cannot sustain an unbroken tradition. Consequently, no tradition aimed at universal well-being has been established thus far. So this lines means that until now there's always been a broken tradition, and ignorance cannot sustain. That's what it means here. And until now, the right tradition to be followed, or the right tradition to take it forward, has not been established thus far. So here again, we are reminded that idealism nor materialism had ever come up with the right tradition to impart continuously, or evolution has not come up with that tradition yet thus far. That means that this is again a bold statement stating that most religions, if not all, had some sort of purpose, but that purpose was not in align with the whole of existence or the whole of humanity, and thus far that is the reason that the traditions are not being able to carry it forward. Somewhere down the line we were stuck into the karmic kriya of it, or the action part of it, or some of us were connected with the process of doing it out of love or affection. So that would be individualistic, not based on people, whoever everywhere cannot जिसको भक्ति मार्ग कहते हैं ना, everybody cannot stay with the bhakti marg also. So the tradition could not follow it because there was no clear definitions of what is going to be the outcome of that. And not all of it, not all of the humanity could follow it also because of that reason. Those produced by the current education system consider themselves the epitome of intelligence. Okay, that is true. While viewing the rest of the world as stupid, millions of such graduates emerge annually. How do we impart understanding to each one of them? Where will we find enough doctors to fix them? Okay, this is a sarcastic again remark that they will be coming out of their graduations and they are still unaware of what is resolution, and how will we I mean, will the doctors be able to fix them? So there's not enough doctors, so we have to go to the education system itself. That's what it sarcastically means. No one accepts anything until they have understood it themselves. I am a testament to this truth. I was surrounded by Murtis in my family neighborhood and village, yet they could not make me read the Vedas because I did not want to read. However, every individual on earth desires to become wise. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. So, on this basis, there is a complete possibility that every human can be wise. So, this line, okay, he is saying that every person wants to feel that they are wise, and yet there is no concrete road towards it, except for reading the Vedas. That's what it says. And he didn't want to read the Vedas. So, how does everybody become wise? Everyone individual on earth desires to become wise. On this basis, there is a complete possibility that every human can become wise. It is on the premises that I initiated this movement. It began with a sincere ambition to impart understanding to every human being. Through this movement, those who have gained understanding have found solace, and qualities we deem humane have blossomed within them. Okay. So, being humane is again a virtue, and people who are in the idealism also, they have also had these traits of being humane. I have seen a lot of people, I have met a lot of people, of course their age was a little bit higher than ours. I don't see people who are in idealism and are into humane activities, because today's day and age we are seeing that the education has almost eroded the part where we are I'm remembering a nice story when I was young. There was basically a shop in our corner in the village, and we used to go and buy those sweets which are called khatti mithi. It's an orange sweet that we are still getting today, in fact. So at that time, I think it was just for 1 rupees. We used to get a handful of them. I'm talking about something when I was like 5 or 8 years old, something like that, and basically some 30 odd years back. And those sweets were given to me, and I was holding it in my hands, and obviously it was full. The hands was very small, and basically what happens was one of the sweet fell down. Now, obviously, it was my mistake. My hands were shaking or whatever. So my one of the sweet fell down, but the shopkeeper placed one more from the jar and placed it in my hand. So basically, I got the amount of sweets that I was supposed to get for that money. But the loss was bared by the shopkeeper of the sweet that fell down and broke. Basically, they're very brittle. So I just remembered the story now, that that kind of repercussion or that kind of effect would not be seen in today's shops. I think if you by chance break something, they even write the signs, if you break it you buy it. That's what they say in the western shops sometimes. If you break some crockery or something like that, you'll have to buy it and basically pay for the broken thing. So yeah, everybody wants to be humane, everybody wants to have this sort of thing in their heart that they are giving. And it is not always possible, but with this they're saying this, through this movement, I'm reading it from the second sentence here. Through this movement, those who have gained understanding have found solace, and qualities we deem humane have blossomed within them. So, and indeed, in this darshan, I am seeing that one very good quality, even in the first a few days, who are our attendees who come for the shivir, they have some sort of many resolutions going in their mind, and such. Drastically, what I've seen, something which reduces completely in their mind is the way they get, or rather, they don't get angry. That is one thing that I've seen. Uh, Somewhere there is a sort of acceptance about themselves, about others. There is a sort of in tuning and with around people around them, and they are actually more conversant, they are more able to convey their thoughts, and their thoughts are lesser of conflict. This is definitely what I've seen in the many shivers that I've attended, and this is again lining to these words only: we start becoming humane. Yes. Anybody wants to add to this? Okay. If somebody would like to read, then they are most welcome.
Okay, I'll read.
Okay.
The essence of ethics.
Hmm.
Uh, I am not able to read that thing is coming. Hello. Hello.
Yes, yes. We can hear you.
Okay.
Hmm.
The essence of ethics is deploying resources in the form of body, mind, and wealth towards purpose. It
Hmm.
is called the right use. Right use happens in two ways. First, deploying body, mind, and wealth towards production and seva. Second, devoting body, mind, and wealth with relationships towards realization of their purpose. When
Hmm.
resources are rightly used, they become secure, and whatever purpose they are used for also becomes secure. Means
Hmm.
in the
Hmm.
previous 2 days we have seen that uh, he Babaji said about ethics. So the essence of ethics is when we deploy the resources that we have. What is the human resource? That is body, mind, and wealth that
Hmm.
we have, natural resources,
Hmm.
towards a purpose. That is called the right use. Now,
Hmm.
two ways you can have this right use.
Hmm.
First is towards production and seva.
Hmm.
And second, devoting this okay, see,
Hmm.
very nicely he has used this. First is deploying. Since you are
Hmm.
doing a kriya of production and seva, it is deploying body, mind, and wealth. And second is devoting body, mind, and wealth with relationships. Because I feel he has written devoting, especially here, is because relationships has to be lived with values and it needs a lot of nurturing. I think that is why he says you devote your body and mind towards and wealth
Hmm.
with relationships towards
Right.
realization of their purpose.
Hmm.
When resources are rightly used, they become secure.
Hmm.
उनका संरक्षण होता है if they are
Right.
put to use,
Hmm.
and so they become secure, and whatever
Hmm.
purpose they are used for also becomes secure.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is very interesting that the way it is put, it almost binds it or stitches everything, and the outcome is a secure feeling. Like for example, if we put the right use into play, when we consider something simple as water, when we see or when we realize the importance of water, we will start to harvest it, we will start to preserve it, we will let not let it go into the gutters, we will start building check dams. So in a result of that, the water of course becomes your security, and now it is a stronghold where you are seeing that even without wisdom, people who are doing it, they are turning villages, deserted villages, into a very prosperous, inviting birds and animals from the surrounding, and all this kind of vyavastha happens, orderliness happens. And indeed, we can see that the word security automatically enters into that whole, when you are just doing it with purpose. Yes.
This is what we mean by right use and security. When we allocate our resources, body, mind, and wealth, towards resolution, prosperity, and orderliness, with trust in the present and fostering coexistence, they become secure.
Mm-hmm.
So, as rightly you said, when we allocate our body, mind, and wealth towards resolutions, prosperity, and orderliness in nature, with trust in the present.
Mm-hmm.
As Babaji always says, that
Mm-hmm.
whatever is constant is the present,
Right.
and when we put trust in the present, still this has to be elaborated with
Mm-hmm.
trust in the present and fostering coexistence means because of coexistence, uh, these things happen in orderliness. That's what I feel
Yeah.
he's trying to say, and they become
Mm.
secure.
Yeah.
This results in the right use of our wealth. Do you
Mm.
want to say anything, Bhaiya?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, when the year 2000, like Y2K, it was known as at that time, when the Y2K issue came up, where all the computer was supposedly to go, like never convert to the next day, and there was supposed to be a panic, and everybody was after the supermarkets and after the stuff and after all those things. So we are seeing that when the future is in a sort of a bleak future, and people started doing this after, I think even before, half a year was still remaining, June, July, August, the people started worrying about the Y2K bomb. It was known as the digital bomb, where all the computers would cease to function and everything would collapse, which didn't happen, because everything has a way of working its way out. And yeah, so that was a feeling of insecurity, because people were living in the fear of future. So when we are in orderliness, we are in the present and we are trusting the present. And in that, what happens is that the present, it is like you are accepting and you're living in the moment instead of worrying of the future or repenting the past. I think most of the time, most psychologists would agree that half of their time is spent on just listening to the things that have happened in the past, which have no bearing towards the coming. Okay, maybe you can say that you have learned from the past and then you move on from it. But just living in the past and not learning anything out of it and just repeating it in the mind, it is like saying chewing the cud, just regurgitating that same things of the past and then chewing it, and then saying it, okay, I'm having the same experience at that time and I'm still having that. And indeed, the body does have this kind of negative nostalgic effect, where the body actually starts producing more cortisol and all these kind of hormones to suppress the pain, because basically in emotional pain and a physical pain there is no difference. And that is when we see that the depression takes over and all this kind of thing, because the body wants to fight the cortisol excretions. So it fights it by adrenaline, and the hormones keep on coming out. And we have to be aware that when we are thinking, the Jeevan is thinking, right? But the Jeevan is thinking, but the Jeevan is connected with the body. So the body can just take so much of beating, and these things then turn into very serious diseases. And I just got information that there are some Shalini is with us, I think also she would agree. There are some six tests that happen every year for the kids, and that means that there is a test, two tests every month approximately. Sorry, there is a yeah, six tests. So basically, every 2 months there is a test. There is a, like a mock exam. There is this and the other. The kids are always under pressure. There is no time to complete the syllabus. No sooner has the syllabus being started, then the exams are suddenly coming upon, and the kids have to get ready for that. So again, same thing. Kids are put into the pressure of future exams, future pressure, future exams, anxiety, 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 and we are seeing that it's like. Is creating a childhood where there is no fear, there's no presence in the right now, and people are, and even kids are living in the future and trying to bypass their childhood, which is a very sad thing because of these so-called exams. So I just wanted to mention here.
Should I continue for you?
Ah, yes.
There won't be security without right use, and there can't be right use without security. Right use and security of resources lead to eternal well being. The inherent need to deploy our body, mind, and will towards righteousness is meant for our awakening.
Mhm. Yeah.
Self explanatory.
Yeah, very self-explanatory, very thought invoking. When you deploy it for the righteousness, towards righteousness is meant for awakening. The inherent need to deploy our mind, body, and wealth towards righteousness is meant for awakening. So anything else than that is basically towards delusion. I think if we just reverse that sentence, when we are using or deploying our mind, body, and wealth towards not righteousness, then it is meant to our doom, or to activities which are demonic, literally, because that's what is happening right now also in some places and some situations. We are seeing that people are exploiting, undermining people's living and being, and we are seeing wars because of that, and exploitation of the resources because of that. So almost demotic activities, we would say. Yes, Didi.
Hmm. Human beings are the only entities in existence capable of wisdom.
Mm,
Humans are a combination of Jeevan and body. Human bodies follow the lineage tradition, while Jeevan exists naturally in existence as a constitutionally complete entity with no human contribution to its creation.
mm,
So it says human beings are the only one who are capable of wisdom.
mm.
Since they have a developed brain, than the others, and they have this Jeevan.
Right.
So it says that humans are a combination of Jeevan body,
Mm,
and human bodies follow the lineage tradition, while
mm,
Jeevan exists naturally in existence as a constitutionally complete entity.
mm.
Well, I have not understood what is lineage tradition, if
I
someone
think
could say.
it means parampara in if we use that word. So it follows a lineage tradition. जो परंपरा में चला आ रहा है उसके हिसाब से वो आगे
But
चलता है,
okay,
हाँ, बढ़ रहा है, right.
okay. While Jeevan exists naturally in existence as a constitutionally complete entity with no human contribution to its creation, it is already natural. So our Jeevan is in existence naturally.
Hmm. Hmm.
The human body, however, is a product of human tradition.
Hmm.
So I think human bodies follow the lineage tradition. This is the line, I think. The human body, however, is a product of human tradition. Does it mean that the Rachnatmak, the evolution they are talking about?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, in fact, I just wanted to add here that the human body is still evolving, in the sense that the generation which is ahead, Babaji just used to say it, I think, out of maybe he knew it, but I know for a fact, technically, I read an article where every next generation has some 10 lakhs brain cells. And obviously, this means that the brain is getting more and more developed, more and more dense. Having said that, we can be also be argued that because of malnutrition or food which is not of conducive to the body, also the same is happening in the reverse order also, because where the brain may be evoluting or evolving, there is also the situation where the brain is also sorry, the body is not healthy. So that also is can be argued. So the body is feeble, or maybe the body is not getting the right nutrients. So we see that there are some sort of developments that are not happening in the body. The organs are not strong, or things like that. So yeah, I just wanted to add.
Yeah, that the second point is also because it says human tradition. तो अगर मानवीय परंपरा रहेगी तो the normally lot of lectures that right now I am attending, there it says that if everything is in orderliness, then the last, that is the health uh, of the human body, automatically then culminates to a fit body. Since you have everything around you and you are living in a right way. So I think,
Yeah.
uh,
Didi, you can continue. I just need to take 2 minutes. You may just continue. I'll
okay.
just zoom out a little bit so that by chance, if I take time to come back. Yeah. Hmm.
Okay. This is how it is provisioned in existence. The union of Jeevan and body is necessary for Jeevan to manifest its awakening. The union of Jeevan and body is necessary for Jeevan to manifest its awakening. Human bodies have the provision to evidence understanding, a feature not present in animal bodies. Therefore, humans are recognized as sanskar conformance entities. Like we have seen the four orders. The first is the matter order. Second is the the plant kingdom. Third is the animal uh, living beings, that there is animals, and the fourth is the human order. So human order is sanskar conformance entities, and only human bodies have the provision to evidence understanding, and this is due to the union of Jeevan and the body, which has a developed brain, which helps the Jeevan to manifest its awakening. Awakening means Jagrati, as Babaji says. Apart from humans, all three orders in nature are mutually complementary. Now, it is imperative for humans to embrace complementariness. For humans to live in harmony, complementariness is essential. This cannot be achieved through individualism or hedonism. So it says, apart from humans, all three orders in nature that you can see, they are mutually complementary to each other. The elements, that is the matter, the plant kingdom, and the living order, they are all in mutually complementary. Now, it is imperative that now it is high time that it is important that humans also embrace this complementariness. Now, for humans to live in harmony, complementariness is essential. This cannot be achieved through individual or hedonism. These two ideologies of materialism and ecstaticism is in the past led humans towards individualism. As we can see that in materialism, why materialism leads to individualism, we have seen that the rich get more richer, the poor get more poor. So no one is bothered about, only some people are just behind the material accumulation.
Hmm.
They don't care about the others. They want to secure their family themselves. So that has also, we have seen, it leads to individualism and the ecstaticism that we say, that has also led to individualism, that think about yourself, see within yourself.
Right.
So yes, so materialism leads humans towards hedonism,
Mm.
resulting in
Individualism.
individualism. Ecstaticism, on the other hand, is inherently individualistic. Both of
Mm.
these ideologies fail to provide a blueprint for social formation and instead prove to be detrimental to society.
Mm.
However, humans yearn to live in society. Yeah. Do you want to
Mm.
put something?
Yeah, I just wanted to actually learn this meaning of hedonism.
Hmm.
Do we have anybody who is aware of it? Maybe I can just Google it also.
भैया दिस इज
Ah,
भोगवादी.
okay, got it.
Hmm.
बढ़िया, बढ़िया. So basically, materialism leads humans towards how do we say it? Materialism. Can we say that materialism leads human towards materialistic living or
Happiness through
ah,
material things.
right. Okay. Great. And resulting in individualism again. Yes. Let me have the things. Let my money be favorable for me only. Right. But yeah.
So, however, humans yearn to live in society. So, we have
Hmm.
seen that uh, though this thing has been seen in materialism and idealism, that one has to see about themselves. It is their journey, but humans, we see inherently they yearn to live in society only.
Hmm.
They desire to live in coexistence, prosperity, and resolution.
Right.
It is the responsibility of humankind to achieve these three objectives:
Hmm.
coexistence, prosperity, and resolution.
Yeah.
So now it is the responsibility of just humankind, because they are only evidence awakening and
Hmm.
they only can see the other orders.
Hmm. Yeah.
So they only can achieve these three objectives:
Hmm.
coexistence, prosperity, and resolution.
Hmm. Yeah. I think it's very very interesting how it gets sometimes it gets so simple and simple as we are reading deeper and deeper because we have understood what is coexistence. Coexistence is basically recognizing that everything is in existence is dependent on everything else, and we are realizing it how it is intricately connected with everything else. And then prosperity is about how you are producing more than you are consuming. So basically prosperity is a feeling or a place in your life where you are producing as much as a little bit more than what you are consuming. So that is the feeling of prosperity, and it is again just a mindset. It is a feeling. Your family members or your circle of family people will decide that, and then based on that will be or they will be working towards that prosperity, and that same applies to all the other families. So the whole society is again now prosperous. One can say once the family is prosperous, the whole society of those kind of families are prosperous, and then it keeps on going multiplying towards the whole world. And resolution again is a result, I think. Somewhere down the line, if you're living in coexistence and you're doing everything your tan man dhan according to the needs a little bit more than your needs which are there, and obviously the result will be resolution. So with human beings, that will be with nyay, living with nyay, and with matter or plant or animal, you will be doing with I think balance. So that's the right word for you. So you will be not exploiting the plants or animals or anything like that. Matter will be used or you will be using it as a resource, but with a balance. So you will take care of the cycles of nature that are there. You will not be exploiting more than what it is uh, being produced by nature. So somewhere down the line, all these things were in the past were actually there, but they were just fragments. Everything was fragmented. I remember when in the past I used to listen to them to stories that native people in Africa used to say is that when the child is born, we plant a coconut tree and outside their house. That's how simple it was, you know. So that means that a child is born, by the time he or she is 7 years old, the coconut tree takes about 7 years to fruit. So by the time the child is 7 years old, there is a coconut tree. So the coconut tree is like a very useful tree for them. They use that leaves for thatching the roofs. They use the fruit, and basically the whole it's like a it's worshipped almost in the African regions. So yeah, but again, it is a fragment. Just because a child is born, we should plant coconut trees. Now nobody follows that because there is no tradition of that. There is no reason for that to be imparted to the next generation. The next generation will say, why do we need the coconut tree? There is no need for the thatch roof. There is no need for the fruit. We are getting the Coca-Cola and the soft drinks. So this is again another issue. But once we understand that what is the reason of all these things, you know, why are we supposed to do some things like this? So then again, our action will be towards that resolution. Yes.
Bhaiya, I am out. If possible, someone else can read because then there'll be a lot of disturbance in the
Okay.
background.
No, I
Sure,
can
sure.
read. I can read. But yeah, I can read.
Okay.
Okay. Understanding naturally leads to responsibility, and taking up responsibility makes us participants in family and society.
Mm.
This leads to our evidencing the universality of being human. There is a need to establish such a magnificent tradition of humankind. Every human being hopes for orderliness, aspires for orderliness, and according to me, even desires orderliness.
Mm.
So, in understanding naturally leads to responsibility, and taking up responsibility makes us participants in the family.
Mm.
अब if we will be understanding, that is समझदार होंगे तो फिर
भागीदारी
वो
होगी।
ईमानदारी से हम रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी यानी जिम्मेदारी भी होगी और भागीदारी भी
Mm.
होगी.
Mm.
Means
Yeah.
this will lead to one thing will lead to other.
Mm.
This leads to our evidencing the universality of being human.
Right.
तो दिस विल यस द
Mm.
जो ये हम बात करते हैं यूनिवर्सैलिटी की सार्वभौम व्यवस्था की बात करते हैं. So
Mm.
that can lead to that. There is a
Mm.
need to establish such a magnificent tradition for
Mm.
humankind, and
Yeah.
there is the need actually to establish such kind of a tradition.
Mm. Mm.
Every human being hopes for orderliness,
Mm.
aspires, and means there is a hope, there is aspirations, and according to
Mm.
uh, Bhadesh Darshan, even desires for orderliness.
Mm.
So these are the things. Yes, Bhaiya,
Mm.
you can have your
Yeah.
views.
I just wanted to add one more thing here that in today's day and age, where the youth is actually not having sort of a guidance which is in line with coexistence, we are having these pseudo guides, like, for example, fake father figures. And that can be even in terrorists. We are seeing that there are some fake father figures in terrorism, and then they are calling on to these kids or these children for their religious wars or things like that. And also in our own tradition, for example, in Hinduism, there are some sort of figures that they are we just talked with yesterday about it, that there are some people who are guising themselves as gurus. They may have started with noble causes, but ultimately when it comes down to the um managing of all these institutes or all these kind of places where they are where their people or the devotees have their children coming in, the children are also taken for a ride. They are also put into very unfamiliar situations where they have to say where they have to do what the parents are saying, where they have to do what the gurus are saying, and somehow down the line the laws are being broken. So we are seeing that because there is a need for feeling in coexistence, all the Jeevans which are coming in this world or in this earth are actually open to it. They are open really to coexist with everything else and everyone else. But somehow down the line, there is no such guidance which is of true nature, I would say, because everything is just fragmented in the people's minds. So we might be having a noble cause, we might be having some people wanting to plant trees, we might be having some terrorist organizations wanting to fight for liberty, but ultimately this is not, there is conflict in this. There is not a complete I would say the package is not complete. somewhere down the line they have to kill somebody, but somewhere down the line they have to also feel coexistence. So how does it work? It doesn't work. That is why it falls apart. So again, here is saying that everybody is aspiring to be in orderliness and even desires it so, but then again, there is no such darshan. I would just say the word darshan has not appeared yet until now, which is Madhyas darshan now. Yes.
When we talk about the universality,
Hmm.
now before universality, there is a concept in most of the traditions is religion, and every religion says I am the best. Huh?
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
can give you the path, and that path is based on the traditions.
Hmm.
That path is based on the idealism,
Right.
and they frame their own rules, and that becomes a problem.
Hmm.
Now, your own rule may not be universal.
Right.
The main thing is the rule should be universal. You should abide by the rules of the country, rules
Hmm.
of universality, not
Right.
that I have a different rule, and that creates the most of the problems.
Right. Yes, that is the
Hmm.
issue actually. Every
Hmm.
religion has said that it is through me, by me, and from me that you will attain salvation. I know there is one saying like that. Then there is another saying there is no other God than Allah. That is the last words. There is one God which is Allah. There is no other God other than Allah. So that is one of the slogans. A lot of religions, modern religions, have this sort of things, and then this is causing some civil wars in tribal wars. All these kind of things happens because of that. There is no universality in this. When you are saying that your religion is better, that clearly means you are not a universal religion. That is just a point blank statement, and it is just the fact.
Hmm.
Yes.
However, this desire often takes a backseat to other priorities. As a result, the desire for orderliness remains weak, and humans find themselves unable to fully commit to it. And that is the main problem. When a
Mm.
person is feeling individualistic gains, then
Mm.
that person may not be in the orderliness, and that will create the problem. Huh?
Right. Yeah.
Unless we are thinking based on the profit, health, and pleasure, then
Mm.
we cannot think about the justice or dharma and
Yeah.
truth. And that
Because
is the problem. Yes,
and
Bhaiya.
this is body centric. All these things that are we are talking about
Hmm.
here, uh, profit, pleasure, and true. Sorry, what do we say it in Hindi?
Priya Hitlab.
Priya hit lav. So
Hmm.
basically, what is likable, what is benefiting you, hit, and what is labh, what is profit. So likable, and what is favorable to you with health, and then what is profitable. These things are linked with the body. There is nothing to do with the Jeevan. So we are also understanding that we have to go beyond this. Everybody who is attaining any sort of heights is actually limited with a glass ceiling, which is this only. They're stuck at the profit ultimately. They're not going above it. And above it, there is based on this darshan, we have the justice, we have the dharma, which is innate nature, and truth. So in line with that is again orderliness, and this orderliness is depicted in coexistence or the existence at large.
Hmm. And what you have said, that is written in the next line, that
Mm.
is, they become helpless due to living in animal consciousness.
Mm. Right.
So that is the consciousness that is creating problem.
Right, right. Ultimately, even if your agenda is not that, but since you become so big, like most religions become suddenly so big, then what happens
Hmm.
is you are not able to control the heads of those places, and those heads of places are most probably stuck in this kind of minimalistic mindsets only. So at the end of the day, you will have to be now either hiding them, putting them under the carpet, and because the media is there to literally make a story out of your event. So the only way to fight it is because you pay up the people, or you put the police and pay up the police and not come and attack you, or take or arrest you, or you pay up the media and hide the stories and all this kind of. So these kind of things start happening, and ultimately, even if a person who is resolved at the top, since he or she has created an environment where they have structured so many things, and those structures are ultimately just running on profit at the end. So what happens is those heads now have to be taken care of by this person who is on top. So it is almost like the person on top has a headache now of taking care of the animalistic behavior mindsets which are down below. So that is a very
Hmm.
worst case scenario. वो उससे
Hmm.
नियंत्रित होता है बाद में. That is the problem.
Or the most dangerous thing is then they make the political clout, and
Hmm.
they say we have a large number of followers, and political parties also see that yes,
Right.
they have a large number of political parties. So what they see is they become blind to the whatever wrong things are happening
Hmm.
there. So
Right.
they say, okay, no issue. You just keep on propagating us. So that
Hmm.
becomes a totally a wrong scenario which is
Right.
happening in our society.
Right.
So
Right. Right.
every person must understand the orderliness. Every person must understand what is the right way of living, and
Hmm.
accordingly, do not come into the trap of these people.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah.
think we should again emphasize this thing before we continue. I think just want to mention it again. A lot of people, especially the viewers who are watching this afterwards, also they might be aware of all these things which are happening, wrongdoings basically in the name of dharma or in the name of idealism. There are so many series based on it on various platforms, and yet we are seeing that there are so many parents who are confronting their young minds or the young children's and putting them through pressure to go and live in this kind of places or go and take sannyas or go and learn from this kind of places. The reason I think is because maybe the parents are actually not confident in society as such, so they're trying to look for alternatives. I don't think that the mindset of the parents is all anyways ever being ill-minded. They are not ill-minded. The parents here are literally just blinded by the by the problems that they are seeing in the society, the way the whole thing is structured, the corruption and everything, and they see the alternative or they see the solace in these kind of spiritual people, and that is the mistake, or that is their miscalculation rather of the parents, and then that's why the children have to suffer in this also. A lot of good may be coming out of it, but indeed, even if one bad is coming out of it, that thing should be looked at and it should be labeled as such that this is not acceptable. I mean, how can you accept some of the things that have happened in these names of spiritual idealism? Because if there is one bad thing that has surfaced, that means there is also 100 which have been suppressed. So we should take care of that. So I just wanted to say
Hmm.
that we have to be aware of this as parents, that in the blindly following or fearing the current market or the current world, we are pushing these kids or our young minds towards this kind of so-called better places.
Hmm.
That's a wrong thing.
Yes, Bhaiya, wonderfully explained by you. And I assume
Hmm.
that apart from whatever you have said, there is also thing is that you are not the persons basically are not able to break the traditions. Now,
Hmm.
whatever they have learned from the traditions,
Hmm.
they don't have the courage to just know those traditions. They are
Hmm.
simply believing those traditions, and that becomes the cause of misery. Once
Hmm.
we will be understanding, once we will be knowing the exactness of everything, I think it will automatically solve the problem.
Right,
The
right.
main thing is understanding, knowing, and to find the solution and resolution. So these are the
Hmm.
important things.
Hmm.
And since people are not try to look beyond the traditions, then
Hmm.
they become in a trap.
Right.
That's what I yes, Neelam Didi want to say something.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bhaiya, it's a interesting thing that Janak Bhaiya has brought up. Uh, what happens is, few days back, Patak sir had taken a session. I remember one thing in that where we miss is, still we are not able to think what is universal in nature, our thinking. Many a times we just think कि ये ऐसा ही होना चाहिए जैसे एक वो वॉर का ही आई थिंक था एंड पापा हैड come up with कि इंडिया नीड्स टू सिक्योर itself सो वो तो होना ही चाहिए बट दैट
Hmm.
टाइम पापा जो said योर इंटेंशन फर्स्ट शुड बी फॉर अदरवाइज वो चेंज ही नहीं आएगा तो पहले
Hmm.
चेंज के लिए वो विचार में पहले इन योर
Hmm.
थॉट्स it
mm,
is important to bring that concept of universal thinking.
mm,
What happens is when in our Indian traditions, or I think everywhere probably, when a child is born, he is born with no religion, but then
mm,
afterward, either a religion or by a rich person like Ambani family ka hai,
mm,
or
mm,
from Elon Musk, kuch bhi, they relate
mm,
to the wealth of their parents,
mm.
the lineage that they have
Right.
in the family. So ev- the person when comes to birth is connoted to that, and be it in, see, if you see in schools also, the form it says is you have to mention your religion over there, you know.
Mm. Yeah.
In schools institution also it is given that.
Mm,
That change has to be brought about, then only we can have that change in mindset, because it's a, you know, you're breaking so many years ka belief system.
mm,
And I don't think that belief system somewhere was wrong
mm,
that time, because everyone wanted moksha. Okay.
mm,
Now,
mm,
what moksha is from what they wanted was the
mm.
sansar, which was full of sorrow or which didn't have resolution.
Right.
So, still there was an understanding which was to be gained, you know.
Mm,
So many years ka belief system has to be broken,
right.
and this needs from, you know, beautifully, I think previous it is written, or it can come through only education. I think previous paragraph that line is there.
Yeah.
So education में we have to come with that कि ये religion bias नहीं होना चाहिए.
Mm,
वहां से जब शुरू करेंगे, या हॉस्पिटल से when at that kid is born,
mm,
we then only that change, you know, it should come to that change. So that mindset, it will take a long time. It's very easy, we can see this, it's very
mm,
easily said, but to
mm,
break that, we have to take those initiatives which will go to the, you know, the ground levels from the
mm.
start.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you.
I was just talking to a colleague of mine who is into education, and he's working with basically government through the government schools. Now, the government schools are almost all of the government schools are obligatorily having their digital classrooms. All schools which are in the under the government are having digital classrooms, which means they have a digital TV which is connected with some sort of satellite, and then that is an educational satellite. So every kid is able to connect with the that sort of lessons and lectures, and the infrastructure is there. That's what I'm trying to say. What I mean is that the teachers are there, but those teachers are still not informing the kids about the values. They are just informing the kids about education, and suddenly we are seeing an overflowing of youth which is well educated technically, but they're not having the jobs. They're looking for the jobs. Now you have trained them to be materialistic, number one. You have trained them to be competitive, number two. So they're going to be competitive. They want to earn the highest salary. They will not settle for less salary, right? Number three, you have also trained them to be like not accepting laborious work, because you have taught them to write with a pen, or and then that is the thing that with education is that when you are educated, you are not supposed to pick up the plow or the powda nahi uthana hai uske baad. So that means that now that kid is trapped from always. Only the thing that he can do or she can do is leave the country, either that, of which also Trump is now reversing that that situation, uh, or the kid or the youth will start creating a revolution, or maybe fighting it, or maybe stealing, and these kind of things will start happening. So the education, we are reforming it, right? We are doing the infrastructure, right? But the teachers who are supposed to take the right education with values and morals, and that too in line with coexistence. I'm not talking about values and morals that are of the religion background. That is another issue altogether. That is going to create another problem also. But I'm talking about values and morals which are universal. So we need to be conducive to that. We need to be having more teachers, And I think Babaji's vision of how the Abhibhavak Vidyalaya and all these things will be working, where the parents themselves are the teachers. So I think ultimately, as we as the youth, or we as the middle-aged people, are supposed to be very, very strong-heartedly towards education, forming groups, learning more, being conducive towards creating more environment for right education. And by right education, by it means that education that leads to coexistence. And it is as Neelam Babi said, not a small step, but we know the ABCs now based on the Babaji's work, and we know also he has given some work with education also, how kids are supposed to get educated, at what age they should know what, and at what age they should know how many skills. All these things are defined in these books that Babaji has written. So yeah, I mean, this is something that is worth taking forward. I think there's nothing else to be done other than to self-educate, to self resolve, and then that ultimately will overflow as the educator within us coming out with our sort of clarity for the new generation.
And that is the difference between
Mm.
other gurus and the here in Vadya's darshan.
Right.
That here emphasis is given for the education. So
Mm.
let the universality or the understanding or the coexistence should be taught through books to the
Mm.
students, which
Mm.
others are not saying. The
Mm.
religion is not saying, and it's
Mm.
very difficult to teach the religion in schools
Mm.
because there are so many religion. Which will you
Right.
teach? If you
Right.
will emphasize on that you are Hindu, okay, you read Hindu books.
Mm.
If
Mm.
you are a Muslim, okay, you read Muslim books. In
Mm.
Punjab, if you go, they will
Mm.
emphasize on reading the
Mm.
Guru. Then that will create a lot of problem.
Right.
No? So
Right.
the universality has the answer, and
Mm.
this is the beauty of Madhyas Darshan.
Right. Right.
Bhaiya, there are 2-3 minutes. I just
Huh.
remember. Have you attended today morning session of Mahendra Bhaiya?
Not. I have not. I'll listen to it.
Okay,
If.
now
Huh.
in that
Mm.
he has come up since I think it's 2 minutes, so I think I don't think we'll read ahead.
Okay. Sure.
So
We can.
I was just saying that
Mm.
he came up with the point. There were some teachers who normally attend his sessions in the morning that I came to know today only. They are from Delhi. Okay,
Mm.
and he has come up that जो अभी 10th to 14th April that we are having at Nagar, the workshop
Mm.
of Adhyan Abhyas. He has told everyone, he has requested those people that they should come, and most probably they all are coming. So he said अगर हो सकता है तो 1-2 दिन और extend कर देवे,
Mm.
because he said I want to come, he has something in mind,
Right.
and he says I want to come up with some he already has a pedagogy about it, but he wants कि जो दिल्ली में काम हुआ है schools में, how it can be incorporated with these people who are already working in Delhi,
Mm.
and so effectively that अभी एक बार वो अगर it goes to the government, or any educational institution or any person listening to it, to come up with that kind of uh, what do you say, structure,
Right.
with
Right.
the help of these people, that no one means everyone will be assured कि इसके बिना कुछ काम ही नहीं है.
Mm. Yeah.
I also mentioned that we all are coming from Kutch. We 9 people are coming.
Right.
Now there are few teachers, they were saying about their expertise in the field that they are working. So I also
Mm.
mentioned there that जैसे आप भी कर रहे हो on cyclicity nature, तो
Mm.
ऐसे बहुत सारे तो हम मतलब पापा has already gone to 70 schools,
Mm.
had visited in these 5 years. So
Right.
follow up, there has not been any follow up.
Mm.
So
The only problem with the schools is, as I said, there's so many tests going on, and the teachers are overwhelmed and swarmed with the syllabus completion. One thing,
hmm,
if I take a period, most probably I need 2 periods at least, because one period is almost like 35 to 40 minutes only, and during that time I'm hardly able to cover something, hardly able to engage with the kids, hardly able to get something as a question or answer session with them. So I most almost to ask for 2 periods, and what I mean by that is that I have to ask for some teachers to sacrifice their classes. So this is the issue that is I am being bombarded with. So that's why we are coming up with this idea of let's take that also initiative. Shalini also wants to say just one minute. I'll say.
I, yeah, yeah. I just
Uh,
just wanted you to know, you are
mm,
maybe not aware.
mm.
Mahendra Bhaiya जो है ना, he is coming to Jan Samvad group to discuss all these things in next week. He has confirmed.
Okay, बढ़िया.
We are
Okay.
going to have a session actually on this. We have been planning, we have been thinking,
हाँ,
and उसको अभी डेट कंफर्म नहीं, इसलिए मैंने बोला नहीं था. Just wanted
okay.
to share that.
Badhiya, badhiya. So yeah, I just wanted to complete that this is the situation where we are having this issues with the schools. So what I am trying to do is that I also announced it yesterday. We will form a group of kids from all over India, in fact, everywhere from international origins also, and we will try to talk with them and form an event which is of the weekends, and we will somehow try to get this coexistence wordings or lines. Some of it we will just start. How we will continue with it, we will start with cyclicity of nature, obviously, because that will be in line with the education that they are having right now, and then we will see how it goes ahead. And apart from that, Mahendra Bey is also going to go join, most probably with Vishesh Satra, so it will be on the weekends, I think. Let's see what date he gives us. But yeah, we are going towards this, that yes, we have to do something with the education, and if not with the teachers or the schools, we'll just go it directly and just connect with the kids on the weekends. So that's the whole plan basically.
Mhm. I would like to add that UHV and
Mm.
AICT is also working on a war footing
Mm.
to train the teachers, and in future they have plans to implement it. uh, Apart from all the colleges, they have the plans that the schools should also be included. So this is also going on, and we can
Mm.
see that some changes in the future in the lead taken by AICT, which will then connect to the UGC. They
Mm.
are in talks with that. So the implementation at higher education is there, but
Mm.
yes, of course, they are assuming that efforts will be made so that it is being also done at the school level.
Right, right. Badhiya. So yeah, Nilabab is also saying in the comment, great. So we are having this good initiative. Badhiya. So yes, hopefully everything will be a go signal for every event that we are doing. We are seeing that all the events that we are doing are conducive. Shalini, you wanted to say something again?
I
Your hand is
just
still
wanted
raised.
to, I
Hmm.
thought I'll just, mention it here only.
Ah.
Basically, a lot of Delhi teachers are also in our group, they are also in Jan Samvad group, and there's a group, that is now reading whatever content has been written so far. And after that, we are going to see it and like check it out in the light of Madhya's Darshan, how much of it is like truly, it is in the same manner. So there's a lot of work that is going on our sides also, or बहुत सारे common teachers हैं in both the groups. Just wanted.
उस दीदी
हाँ
संध्या और नीरू दीदी
हाँ
तो
yeah,
इन्होंने लीड ही किया है यहाँ पे हैप्पीनेस में, हैप्पीनेस
yes,
प्रोग्राम्स में, तो दे कैन बी वेरी वेरी यूजफुल
yes.
that what actually was taught there and what actually were the stories and everything. So yes, we can think of a betterment.
Yep, we are already thinking on those lines. बहुत
Hmm.
बढ़िया है अच्छा है.
Okay, chalo. So we are going to end the meeting now. We'll meet tomorrow at the same time. Sorry, tomorrow is Saturday, right? So yeah, we'll meet again on Monday. And everybody have a good night. Thank you.